He stands now as a monument, a legend carved in gold. Mohamed Salah, the Egyptian king, a man whose smile sells shirts and whose goals rewrite history. The cop sings his name like a prayer. Trophies glint under stadium lights. Records fall quietly at his feet. But legends are not born clean. They are carved, cut, scarred. And behind the calm eyes and folded arms, there is a darker ledger. A trail of betrayals, obsessions, and calculated violence. Insiders reported that Salah never forgets. Witnesses at the scene saw moments when the mask slipped. Those close to the dressing room whispered the same question again and again. But behind the smile of the Egyptian king, how many knives are buried in his back? This is not a highlight reel. This is an autopsy. These are the files. The 5 men who tried to break Mohamed Salah. Number 5, Luis Diaz, the defector. At first, it looked like family. When Luis Diaz arrived at Liverpool, raw and electric, Salah opened the door. Training ground conversations, quiet advice, tactical whispers after sessions when the cameras were gone. Insiders reported that Salah took Diaz under his wing, teaching him how to survive the pressure, how to score without mercy, how to live with the noise. To Diaz, Salah wasn't competition. He was a blueprint, a guide through the chaos. Then came 2025. Bayern Munich. A move wrapped in ambition and silence. Those close to the dressing room whispered that Salah found out like everyone else. Through his phone. No warning, no farewell, just headlines. Witnesses at the AXA training center saw Salah stare at the ground longer than usual that day. No words, just a jaw clenched tight. The real damage came later. A press conference in Munich, bright lights, red shirt, a smile sharpened like a blade. Diaz leaned into the microphone and delivered the line that insiders say echoed straight back to Merseyside. Here, I have teammates who don't just think about scoring themselves, but play for the team. It sounded innocent. It wasn't. It was a calculated suggestion, a quiet accusation, a public questioning of Salah's soul. Those close to Salah say he didn't respond. No interview, no subtweet, no denial, silence. The most violent response of all. Insiders reported that, inside, something cracked. Not anger, acceptance. The cold realization that loyalty is dead in modern football. That mentorship is temporary. That even the men you help sharpen their knives may one day test them on your back. Diaz didn't destroy Salah's career. He didn't need to. He confirmed something worse. That trust is a weakness. And the king learned once again to rule alone. Number 4. Harry Kane, the obsession. The 2017-18 season was supposed to be a coronation. Salah arrived in England and tore it apart. Goals poured in like confessionals, left foot, right foot, counterattacks, chaos. The Golden Boot race was over before it began. Or so it seemed. But obsession doesn't need logic. It feeds on desperation. Harry Kane watched the numbers climb. He felt the crown slipping. Insiders reported that Kane became consumed. Every deflection, every half chance, every whisper of possibility. Then came the moment that froze English football in disbelief. A goal barely touched, a deflection that brushed him like a ghost. Kane swore on his own daughter's life that the goal was his. Witnesses at the scene saw teammates exchange looks. This wasn't confidence, this was panic. The league investigated, the goal was given, but the damage was done. Kane looked small, exposed. A man so afraid of being second that he sacrificed dignity to chase Salah's shadow. Those close to the dressing room whispered that Salah laughed when he heard. Not loudly, just a breath. Then he tweeted, 4 words, simple, surgical. Wow, really? That tweet landed harder than any tackle. It stripped the moment bare, humiliated the obsession. Kane never replied. He didn't need to. The rivalry wasn't built on hatred. It was built on fear, a toxic need to be number 1 in a season owned by another man. Kane survived. He scored. He moved on. But that moment remains a stain. Proof that Salah didn't just beat him on the pitch. He broke him psychologically, without raising his voice. Number 3. Jurgen Klopp, the fallen father. This one hurt differently. This wasn't rivalry, this wasn't jealousy, this was love. Jurgen Klopp was the architect, the believer, the man who took Salah from Roma and crowned him king of Liverpool. Their bond was sacred. Laughs on the touchline, hugs after goals, a father and son in football terms. Insiders reported that Klopp trusted Salah like no one else, and Salah returned it in blood and goals, until April 2024. West Ham, a substitution, a spark, a detonation. Witnesses at the scene saw Salah's face twist with rage as he left the pitch. Klopp said something. Salah snapped. The sideline became a crime scene. Screams, arms flailing. Darwin Núñez holding Salah back as the cameras caught everything. A relationship unraveling in real time. After the match, Salah spoke 4 words that shook the club. "If I speak, there will be fire." Insiders reported panic inside Liverpool. Phones buzzing. Executives scrambling. This wasn't a player complaining. This was a king threatening to burn the palace. The truth never fully emerged. It didn't need to. The image said enough. The father had fallen. Authority challenged. Love poisoned by time, ego, and exhaustion. Those close to the dressing room whispered that Klopp looked broken that night. Salah looked distant. 2 giants realizing the same truth. Even the greatest love stories in football end in screaming matches. Klopp didn't destroy Salah, but he scarred him, taught him that belief has an expiry date, and when it ends violently. Number 2. Sadio Mané, the jealous brother. They were lethal, unstoppable. 2 shadows moving as one. Salah and Mané, the deadliest duo in world football. Defenders panicked, goalkeepers prayed, but insiders reported what the highlights never showed. Tension, competition, a silent war for sunlight. 2 tigers cannot share one mountain. Burnley, 2019. A routine match, a single moment. Salah breaks forward. He shoots, he scores later, but he doesn't pass. Mané explodes. Witnesses at the scene saw fury rarely associated with the quiet Senegalese star, screaming, gesturing, pure rage. The bench froze. The dressing room afterward was suffocating. Insiders said you could feel the resentment in the air. Years of swallowed frustration bursting through one missed pass. Mané never publicly attacked Salah. He didn't need to. His body language spoke. His eventual departure spoke louder. Those close to the club whispered that Mané couldn't live in the shadow anymore. That every Salah goal felt like an erasure. A reminder of hierarchy. Of who the world loved more. Mané left. He won elsewhere. But the story followed him. The brother who couldn't stand second. The tragedy of a great player undone not by lack of talent, but by comparison. Salah remained. Silent, relentless. King of the mountain alone. Number 1. Sergio Ramos, the villain Kiev, 2018. The night the dream died. A Champions League final soaked in hope. Salah was unstoppable that season. Destiny waited. Then Sergio Ramos happened. Insiders reported that what followed was no accident. A judo grip, an arm locked, a body twisted unnaturally. Witnesses at the scene saw Salah hit the ground, clutching his shoulder, screaming. Tears streamed. The king was broken on the altar of cynicism. Ramos walked away, calm, calculated, no apology, no hesitation. Those close to the dressing room whispered the word everyone was afraid to say. Assault. Not a tackle, not bad luck. A message. Remove the threat. Win the war. Salah left the pitch in tears. Egypt watched their hero fall. A World Cup followed, played injured, diminished. A scar that never fully healed. Ramos denied everything. Smiled. Lifted the trophy. The villain got his ending. But scars tell stories, and Salah survived. He came back sharper, colder, immortal. Ramos tried to destroy him. Instead, he forged him. And every goal since carries a memory of that night. A reminder that even kings bleed. And when they rise again, they never forget who pushed them to the ground. Here's the uncomfortable truth insiders only whisper when the lights are off. Maybe the enemies were never the real problem. Maybe Mohamed Salah's own ruthless ambition created them. When you rise that fast, that high, you don't just score goals. You consume space, you drain oxygen, you force everyone around you to measure themselves against you, and most of them break under that weight. Those who stood beside Salah were all tested. One became obsessed with being number one. Another burned with jealousy at always being second. One walked away because living in comparison was unbearable. Even the father figure cracked, and the villain saw not a man, but a threat that had to be eliminated. Salah survived every knife. Not because he was protected, but because he adapted. Betrayal hardened him. Conflict sharpened him. The scars didn't slow him down, they pushed him higher. And that's why he still stands at the top today. Alone. Not by choice, but by destiny. So answer us this. Does a king need friends or only subjects? Tell us in the comments. And if you want more dark, true crime football stories like this, subscribe to Football Chronicles.